SPA-SEY-GO-JILLER.
Reissued and majorly improved upon from past iterations, 2019 Space Goji still remains one of the strongest modern-day, wide-released movie monster series releases alongside Mogira. So, let's take a look. SPA-SEY-GO-JILLER got a brand spanking new tag, as you can see. Here it is in comparison to the pink border tag, released in 2005? Yeah, 2005. Nice. Flipping the tag over, we can see Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla, Bandai Movie Monster Series, bunch of purple stuff, Bandai, and that the back of the tag is cut out to the shape of SpaceGodzilla's shoulder crystal pads. Opening the tag up can be a bit of a pain in the ass, as you can see. I don't like that that is happening, but we have a silhouette of SpaceGodzilla and a whole bunch of stuff on the inside, and we're just gonna close that up and put this guy in a nice top loader, sealing him in a crystalline prism, never to be used again outside of comics. Now, since I'm talking about SpaceGodzilla, I guess I might as well give my opinion on Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla. It's kind of mid. But as far as the design goes, he's just pretty dang cool looking, man. I mean, if Godzilla was to come from a crystalline version of space, this is pretty much what I'd assume he'd look like. The paint and detail on 2019 SpaceGodzilla is magnificent. I mean, detail-wise, really not too much has changed between this release and all the other friggin' releases. I'd say the major difference between this guy and all the other SpaceGodzillas is mostly going to be in the paint aspect, and that is really why this is my favorite SpaceGodzilla figure. But let's continue on with more details. The pupils on Bandai SpaceGodzilla figures always seem to suffer. They're never painted on straight, they're never consistent in size, and even mine over here, it's a little wonky. That's about as intimidating as a lollipop coming at you with a chainsaw. And yes, the chainsaw is the exact same size as the lollipop, so all you really gotta do is just throw something at the lollipop and it kind of falls over. I don't know why I'm getting into this. But everywhere else, when it comes to paint, I really do have to sing praises for Bandai, because they finally got it right. I don't know what it is with Bandai, Trendmasters, anybody when it comes to an accurate look at SpaceGodzilla, but as far as vinyl figures go, this is obviously the best. What in the actual fuck was going on with this? Yellow, white everywhere? That's not dust. That is part of the paint. See that? No dust. Okay, maybe a little bit of dust, but I don't understand where this paint scheme came from at friggin' all. The metallic paint on the neck to the chest to the crotch region, the metallic paint on the crystals over here. It's just so perfect for a SpaceGodzilla figure. And yes, I do mean perfect. And thank God they cleaned up his back from prior releases, because this looks like an eggnog massacre, and the back of his neck is all white. It doesn't matter. I don't know what Bandai were on with this paint scheme, but I'm glad they're off it. Compared to the original, you can actually see that these crystals somewhat look like they're actually protruding from Godzilla's back. And his back isn't just a nuclear forest of friggin' space crystals. But the detail on them are rather fantastic, I will give Bandai that. Yes, we're still going to get that annoying gap in the back, and we're still not going to get a swivel over there either. But for the most part, when it comes to the dorsal crystals, I think Bandai pretty much near perfected it at this point. And wouldn't you know it, all of the dorsal crystals on the tail are painted all the way to the exact tip where they still refuse to paint the crystals at the tip of SpaceGodzilla's tail. Why? You did all this, but not that. Why? But hey, beggar can't be chooser. They did that with the original releases of SpaceGodzilla, but now it just looks, you know, good. I mean, on the original, they didn't even get these sides of the dorsal fins. They only got the center part. And again, why was it done like this? Why the yellow? Why the all-white back? I can't say I understand it. Like, personally, I admire the fact that Bandai did something different back in the day, but this is just not it, fam. This is easily the superior vinyl Space Goji. And only SpaceGodzilla could look intimidating from the back. I don't know what it is, but that's just kind of scary. But in taking a closer look at the details on top of SpaceGodzilla's head, we've got two crystals at the top leading into the crest on his forehead. Lots of very nice details going on over here. As far as details on the crest go, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same as other releases, just got some lines on there. Looks a little bit more organic and less just, you know, there. Yeah, pretty much the same. We've got the same tusks that Biollante had on the side of SpaceGodzilla's head over here. The teeth are all nice and sharp and gangly. We've got a nice vibrant red tongue in his mouth. And we've got those tusks and more sharp and gangly teeth on the other side as well. That just That just looks cool. I'm sorry. And look at all the details on the neck over here, dude. Holy hell. And I know I already discussed the chest and titties area, but the detail over here with this metallic paint paired with it, it's just top friggin' tier stuff, man. Oh yeah. Something that the original has on this version, though, is that just the fingernails were mostly painted. He really didn't have salted tips going on. Why am I saying that? Let's just take a look at it. Well, one hand looks better. The other one looks more the same. I think I can go ahead and say that the toes were definitely done better on this version. Well, they're definitely a little bit more mute in comparison to the original. Head down into the comments and rate the Goji toes. Yeah. Paint and Detail is going to receive a solid star from moi. And as far as other major changes between the 2019 version and the 2005 version, there really isn't much else. Except for the fact that the 2019 version is taller. Now, this is interesting because SpaceGodzilla's legs aren't articulated. They're solid, they're part of the mold, they don't move at all, and yet the 2019 version is taller. I think I might have said that the legs might have been redone for this re-release just because the kneecaps seem a little bit higher when compared to the original. And I don't know what else could have possibly have been changed. Maybe they just did a whole new head mold for this guy since it was a separate piece to begin with. I mean, I'm not seeing really too many differences between the two aside from, well, you know. While yes, they do look wholly the same from the front, an updated head mold might just be it. I don't know, I just can't see Bandai, of all companies, just redoing legs and calling it a day, you know what I'm saying? So maybe it is the heads. Why don't you comment down below and let me know what you think what might have changed here, because I really can't put my finger on why it would just be the head or something. And now we can move on to articulation. The head can move all the way around. The arms can move back and forward like so. They can actually go all the way around, but I really don't feel like forcing it, and I don't want to scrape any paint off. I'm sorry, but you get the gist of it. They can go back and forth, which means they can go all the way around. If you're brave enough to do it, you go ahead and do it. As stated prior, the legs cannot move. Not at the knees, not at the thighs. But something that they kept from the original release is the movable tail. Yes, it's a little stiff, but I'm happy to see a movable tail on a Movie Monster Series figure in the modern day. And not just at the tip or the midsection, but right here, right at the base. It can move. Heck yeah. And of course, the 2005 version will feature the exact same amount of articulation. Still an absolute banger in terms of modern day Movie Monster Series releases. Better paint, exquisite detail, same amount of articulation. I can't complain about 2019 Space Goji. And when it comes to vinyl SpaceGodzilla figures, at least until I get one of those bigger ones from the 90s, this is definitely my favorite SpaceGodzilla figure. Don't get me wrong, the 10-inch SpaceGodzilla from Trendmasters is very high on up there. You know what it is? It's the metallic paint. My simple pea brain just loves the metallic paint and how it highlights the details. It's nice and shiny and cool and accurate looking. Still a highly favorable release with a lot to show for it. Bandai were on a new level with Space Goji, and they got me very, very hyped for the rest of their releases for the year. And while that same level wasn't fully met in 2019, it was still a pretty great way to kick off the new year. I've been ShinRobjira. I do so hope you enjoyed this review. Yet again, I apologize if I look like a sweaty mess. It's hot up here, and only getting hotter. And when next we meet, if I'm not screwed over by a shipping notification, we're finally going to be talking about Nintendo Gamera. Big ol' Bowser. So long, Bowser. Anybody know that one? Maybe? Possibly? I don't know. Bye.